guys, it's Shelby, otherwise known as Shelbizleee here on YouTube, and today I am joined by
Madison, Shelby's fiance.
Yeah. So this is going to be the next video in my Zero Waste series. We're going to be talking about something that's a little taboo today. I think a lot of people are a little bit uncomfortable with talking about their menstrual cycles. I've seen a lot of videos going around the internet, a lot of blogs and social justice warrior type people talking about how periods are seen as something that's dirty and gross, and really it's just something natural. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's totally natural. Like, it happens to everyone, and it's a part of our everyday lives. Like, it needs to be talked about. Why is it taboo?
So I definitely wanted to include this video because it's important, and actually our periods produce a lot of waste if you're not using something reusable. I looked at some numbers before we got on here, and I found that every woman uses at least 9,000 tampons in her life. And if you multiply that by the 150 or so million women just in the United States, that's a lot of period products.
Yeah, that's
a lot of waste.
Insane.
Yeah. So we won't take it as far as BuzzFeed and make you guys look at our used menstrual products, but we're going to talk about what we're going to be using this month and what we're going to probably use from now on to create a lot less waste with our periods. And I'm going to let Madison show you first. I have her here today because she uses a different product than I do, but yeah, you're going to see that. So here we go.
So let's kick it off, guys. Dun, 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 dun. This is called the Diva Cup, and I love it so freaking much. Before I started using a Diva Cup, first of all, I've always been like really active, so like in sports and like running, and I chose a menstrual product that was like, it keeps everything in except for when I need it to be out. But recently I've been a lot more aware of like all the waste that it was producing, as well as this is really economically friendly after a while when you look at how much you're putting into spending money on menstrual products versus something that you're able to reuse every cycle until, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, eventually this will wear out and you'll have to get another one, but right now I've used it for like almost a year and it's absolutely great.
So it essentially pays itself off after 2 cycles, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Maybe 2 or 3. Like, yeah, this little puppy, it comes in a really cool bag. Super cute for all the divas out there. Ladies!
There are other brands too, while she's taking that out. There are other brands too, and we'll link this one as well as the other ones I've heard are really good in the description box below. There are different sizes and stuff, and people say you need to find the perfect one for you. I have a feeling that's just a marketing strategy so that people will branch out of the original Diva Cup, because I've never heard someone who uses this one say they didn't like it.
Yeah, so, and with this one what's nice is they have the Diva Cup that's like for if you've had a kid, like it's a little bit wider, because I'm sure I haven't had a child, but things just stretch out a little bit more, so they have one that's a little bit wider. And then they have this one that I use and that I'm very fond of. So it's recommended to change it. You could have it into you for up to 12 hours, but it really depends on how heavy your flow is. Like when I'm at the beginning of my cycle, I obviously have to change it a lot more than 12 hours. But the way you insert it is you kind of fold it just like this so that it makes that shape, and then you insert it into your hoo-ha, and it chills in there like all day. Obviously after a while it needs to be emptied, but after you do that, like, you're totally reusing the same product, you're creating less waste, so it's better for the environment, and again, like after 3 or 4 uses, it pays itself off. And then when you're done with it, you put it back in here and you're good to go. And Diva Cup also makes like a sanitizing soap that you can use for it to sterilize it after you're done using it.
So we'll link that below too. And a couple concerns that a lot of people have had about Diva Cups I've heard is like in public places like you're talking about, being nervous about how to change it and stuff like that. But I don't know how often you have to change yours in a public place. They're meant to be able to be worn up to 12 hours. So generally if you're worried about having to do that in a public place, unless you have a super heavy flow, I don't think you'll have to do that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, like I totally agree. You can usually get to a place where like you're more comfortable depending on how heavy your flow is. Like sometimes I have to change it at work, but it's not even a big deal.
I've never used a tampon, guys, and we're just gonna get real personal, and I'm gonna tell you that they've always scared me. I heard about toxic shock syndrome back in the day, and I just was too terrified to do that, to put anything up there. I don't know, it just scares me. So for all my life I've used pads, And I know that a lot of people think that's like really unhygienic, and a lot of people think it's gross, and that's fine. Obviously you're entitled to your own opinion. I just have my own reservations about it. It is what it is. So I have just recently ordered these reusable pads on Amazon, and that's something else that people are probably really freaked out about reusing a pad, but it's really not a big deal. They make a lot of sanitizing bags that you can use to put these in if you do need to change it throughout the day. There's not really that much else to say about it. You can use them just like you do regular pads, and if you do have to change it while you're in a public place, they make bags that you can put them in. The smell won't seep through or whatever, and then you just put them in your laundry. It's super simple. It rinses out. It doesn't cause any problems, and obviously this is a zero waste option. You can get them in a bunch of different sizes and patterns, so that's super cool. And I'll link this and the bag down below for you guys who are scared to use tampons, which I think that there are very few people that are like me, but if you are like me, this is an option for you. Alright guys, well that's gonna be it for this zero waste options with your period. Definitely let me know if you guys use a different type of menstrual cup or a different type of reusable pad or underwear. I know that's also an option. Yeah. But let me know what you guys use, or if you're interested in using these after we talked about them. Of course, you can check the links in the description box below to get your own. So that's it for us this week, I think, you guys. Remember, until next time, create the peace.